Welcome back to this new podcast here on my channel, and today we have a very special guest. This guy is always working. Honestly, when we're driving here, he was already working. It's unbelievable. But we have here Miles Deutscher. How are you doing?
I'm good, bro. Yeah, I'm just like editing the video, the edit. Yeah, you can see down there, I got my laptop. I'm just exporting the video that's coming out of my channel later.
Honestly, I don't know anyone who's working so hard as you, man.
I don't know if I'm working harder or if I'm just not delegating correctly. So one of the big things I'm focusing now in my business is just like delegating better. Yeah. Because like I feel like I'm just doing too much.
That's great. Yeah, this podcast will be very special. We're going to cover a lot of interesting topics. We're going to talk about altcoin season. When is it happening? When is the market going to top out? Should we go into meme coins or should we go into utility coins? I mean, this guy, he knows all about crypto, altcoins. So we're definitely going to have a very interesting discussion. Yeah. So to start off, I really want to know, what do you think about this altcoin season? What do you think about the timing? Because personally, I've been tweeting a lot about it. I've seen you tweet about it as well a lot. But it looks like altcoin season is starting right now, right?
Yeah, I think there's two things. There's like altcoin season and then there's Bitcoin season. I'll start with Bitcoin first because I think alts roughly mirror Bitcoin in terms of the market's like propensity to go risk on versus risk off. I think there's a lot of people calling for a Q1 top now. Like I was doing a tweet on this earlier today. Like everyone seems to be calling for a Q1 top, but that's making me think that it might actually happen later in the year. So if you actually look at the timing from past cycles and extrapolate that data to how the current cycle is performing, Bitcoin should theoretically, based on that data, and obviously things can change if there's a black swan or something, but based on that data, it should top out around Q2 to Q3. So if that does happen, we know the big crazy run for alts doesn't usually happen until after Bitcoin. So it's like usually that period where Bitcoin cools down off its top, consolidates, then alts have a crazy run. So I think what we're seeing now is like the warm up. I think this is the first time in a long time that utility is actually catching a bid. Obviously it's been a memecoin super cycle. So memes have pumped, but it's the first time we've seen altcoins performing. So I think in terms of when altcoin season, I think we're now entering one, but the true one, I don't think will happen until Bitcoin tops. That might not be till mid next year.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, honestly, Bitcoin dominance is still, as of the time of recording, 57%, quite high. There's a lot of room for altcoins to really grow. And I don't know if you've seen the tweet about the new money flow. Have you seen it? No. I believe there's like this cycle, there will be a new money flow. First, we had Bitcoin, Ethereum, like large caps, then to mid caps, then low caps. But I believe this cycle is different. It's Bitcoin, Solana, large meme coins, small meme coins. I think that is a big play for this cycle because usually what works in the beginning of the cycle, like after the bear market, you see certain areas like AI, meme coins, they go they explode. And then in the bull market, they usually do extraordinary, just like we had in the previous cycle with like layer 2s and with DeFi. You usually see it in the pre-bull market phase. They perform very well. And then in the bull market, they do extraordinary. I don't know what your opinion is about it.
Yeah, I actually think you're right. Like it is a bit different because Ethereum just hasn't really... It seems like it's faltering a little bit in terms of the market used to like bid ETH first before everything, but now we're seeing like...
There's more competition.
Like Solana obviously has established itself. Recently you're even seeing like, Sui, Aptos, like the Move protocols coming in and also taking some market share. So because there's more competition, ETH's not as clear of an altcoin proxy. And for that reason, you're right. People are kind of skipping phase 2 and going straight. Like also what's happening is the market's becoming more efficient. So in the past, the market was really inefficient. Like there just wasn't as many people in the market, not as many like AI automated traders. So people know how rotations work now. So instead of going into like the large caps first and playing that like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, people will go like straight to micro caps. Like even myself, like I'm playing AI like quite heavily right now. I haven't jumped straight into Tau. Like I've already gone down to like the sub $50 million market cap tokens because I know that if Tau runs, that rotation is going to happen quick. I think that's also a reflection of the fact that a lot of retail isn't back yet. So it's still the market's still a little bit PvP in terms of like altcoins running. And because like a lot of experienced players are competing against each other right now, these altcoin like rotations are happening much quicker and you're getting a lot of that front running that I'm discussing. So it's still not like easy mode for people. And I actually view that as a bullish thing because we know at some point in the cycle, like easy mode comes back. Yeah. What's easy mode? It's basically just when the market, like everything goes up and it becomes really easy to trade. But now it's still like, you still have to be pretty savvy with your rotations. You still can't just buy anything. because not everything is pumping. It's like very specific sectors, like memes, obviously. Now AI is catching a bid. Utility, but how long will that last? Well, that's maybe something we'll discuss.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I am very big, like I'm betting very big on AI and meme coins this cycle. I know you're also big on AI memes, a little bit less. But what are your top picks for like 5 AI coins? What would you mention?
I actually just did a video on this today, so luckily it's super fresh in my mind. You can probably look at that. It'll be on my channel. It's probably out by now. But top 5 AI coins. So I gave 11 in the video today, and basically I gave all the way from Tau, which is like my top leading play, but obviously that can only maybe 3 to 4x this cycle. Yeah, maybe, it could 10.
Yeah, but that's pretty difficult.
I'm being conservative because it's 12 bill FDV. Yeah. So to 10x, it's 120. So that can happen, but Bitcoin would need to be like 150 to 200K. Solana would have to be $500 to $600. So I've kind of moved down the risk curve a bit. So I've got Tau, I've got Nia. They're like my 2 main bets. Then I've got Spectral, which is like my agent play. I split up my AI portfolio like this. I've got my riskier portfolio, which is like 30%. And then I've got 70% of my capital in the safer stuff, like, your Taus, your renders, your Spectrals, your Near protocols. But I know people here probably want to hear about the risky 30% because that's where like I'm rotating.
Yeah, true. But to be honest, I think like render is like quite a big cap. It's like 11 or $12 billion. I'm not quite
I think
sure.
now less, but at least 4 billion.
Yeah, at least. But honestly, I think that's one of the best AI projects out there.
Yeah.
And if you just look at the risk, like in the last cycle, we had, for instance, Shiba going to $50 billion in market cap. That's quite a lot. If it's, let's check how much it is.
I'm going to be doing fact checks throughout the whole video, I think, because this is like the kind of podcast where you want
to know the right numbers.
You want the data, yeah.
Like if you look at the project is actually having great utility, and if you are going to calculate where can it actually go to, it can easily like do a 5 to 10x with relatively speaking quite low risk. So I personally would like to bet, if you have more money managing, I personally like to bet on these things that are likely are going to go up with less risk on the downside. And I think renders.
Yeah, so it's like 4 million. It reached 5 earlier. Yeah, I know what you mean.
4 billion?
4 billion.
Is it sitting at 4 billion right now?
FDV, yeah. Okay. Which is basically the same as its market cap because it's mostly circulated by now. I agree. I think for the average person, right, I think a portfolio of Tau, Render, Near, Spectral, Grass is really good. I really think
Golem? What do you
Grass
think
is
about
doing
Golem?
well. Golem's a bit riskier, so that's when you start moving down. I like it. I don't hold much of it anymore. But I've been focusing on like the riskier stuff recently because I already had a lot of... So my problem was I had so much Tau, so much Render, so much like Aether and these like big protocols that I didn't have exposure to the real pumpers. Because if AI really catches a bid, these low caps can easily like 20 to 50x. Yeah. So I wanted some exposure. So what are some of the coins that I got exposure to? DEAI. That's sitting around 70 mil right now. That's basically like an FHE like encryption backed protocol that allows you to deploy AI applications. So basically think of it like a pick and shovels play for AI. EMP is another one. It's an AI agent play. It's so cool, bro. They've got a new feature which allows you on Twitter to reply to one of their tweets and like give parameters. So you could say, I want this coin to be X, Y, and Z, and then it will create a contract address and an AI agent under your tweet. So you don't even need to use an app. So that's very cool. That's EMP, which is 20 mil. I mean, these are risky. These can go to zero, but like, I'm just giving you an insight into what I've been buying. Neural, ENQAI, a bit of a riskier one. Guru is another riskier one. It's all in my video if you want to
in the end of the day, if you just buy like 100 of the risky altcoins, only one of them needs to do 100x and you're already break even. And the chances that probably more of them are going to do it is quite big, especially like AI is a big narrative. I believe it will be a big narrative as well.
Then you have to spray and pray a little bit.
Exactly. And the same with memes. But memes are like, I'm getting rocked left and right. I bought Quant, like 30K. I thought, this is actually quite a funny meme from the guy that rocked it, Yeah. And I put 30K in and now it's minus 98%.
But that's what you got to do.
But I know, yeah.
That's what I was saying before, like split your portfolio up. Like 70% is in the safe stuff. Tau, Render, Spectral, Grass, Nia, Aether, Carve, safe AI projects. But 30%, right, I am putting into these lower cap ones because all it takes is one of them to become the next $1 billion play to 50x. So it's just about risk management. Yeah. Crypto's... People kind of get it mixed up in crypto. They think they can't take on risk. Oh, this is too risky. That's too risky. It's got nothing to do with it being too risky. It's all about positioning. the number one skill that people don't have is position sizing. So you can be in a bunch of low cap crap memes with $100 each, and then like a whiff or Pepe or like a top meme with $10,000. And it doesn't matter if like half of your $100 memes go to zero, because it's still only representing 5% of your Pepe bag.
Yeah.
So it's not about playing risky or not risky. It's just about allocating correctly and having a plan. But most people don't have a plan. They just go in blindly.
Yeah, have a strategy. And talking about a strategy, like we're talking about where you are positioning in and where I'm in positioning in right now. But honestly, the biggest issue for most people is to exit the market.
Yeah.
That's the biggest issue, right?
Yeah.
So I have a strategy for myself, and I feel like it's not really relatable to all the followers, because probably for you as well, like we're quite long into crypto. We have made like quite a lot of money and we are more experienced, but like if you're managing like $10, $20 million, you're probably going to buy like real estate and stuff. But let's say you're managing like $10,000. How are you going to exit the market? Well, how should you do it?
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of right. Like the bigger your portfolio, the different your exit avenues are going to look. But I still think in terms of strategy, it's going to be the same. And the strategy I always preach when it comes to entering positions and exiting positions is DCAing. It sounds really boring, but like you can make it a lot more complex if you want to do like progressive DCAing. But basically how I view the market is, as I think the cycle is getting more heated and more heated, I will progressively start taking more profits percentage-wise relative to my portfolio.
But will you take it in Tether?
I will take it. I will take, obviously you have to trade into Tether when you first exit, because that's what's on the exchanges. But then I actually did a tweet on this. You might have seen it. My plan is, I did a full breakdown of this. My plan is real estate. I understand, as you said, like not everyone has that option. I've already started buying real estate. I've already started buying other things out of crypto. Like I took out enough money this year, so I never need to worry about money. Like even if crypto goes to zero, I could still survive and live off the passive income. So I've luckily reached that point. But in terms of the rest, which is like very, I'm still heavily risk on towards the market. I'm trying to maintain net exposure to the market because I still think there's a lot of upside. So I still want skin in the game. And when I do exit, which will, as I said, be progressively, as prices go up, I'll progressively keep laddering out. I'll look to go into Tether at first, obviously, but then treasury yields. The amazing thing about this cycle versus last cycle is you've got on-chain RWA. So if you have like Tether in a wallet, now you can go into Ondo or Clearpool or Maple or whatever you want and actually invest in treasury yields 5 to 6% backed by the real thing. Yeah. So like you can go into that even.
Yeah, the entire reason why we got into crypto, I mean, I think it's the same for you, but at least for me, because I don't want to have any dollars. I don't want to have any fiat currency because fiat devaluates over time. And I really believe, like for my strategy is, I want to buy real estate. And 50% of my portfolio, I will always keep in Bitcoin. I will never sell it. Never sell. Because I'm really sure that if I hold my Bitcoin for like 10 or 20 years, it's going to be worth
worth a lot.
It's going to be worth a lot. And I don't really care if it goes down, goes up. I don't really care too much. I just don't even look at it. It's just, I just want to keep on stacking more Bitcoin and at the same time have different cash generating assets like real estate or something else to, of course, survive if it all goes bad. But yeah, for everyone, they have to have their own strategy. But I think it sounds very cheesy, like, oh, you have to DCA out in the market. But it's because
also like I'm going to cash out in one day because you're not going to time the top.
True, but it sounds so boring because it's true. Like everyone says it the entire time.
I think a more fun question is, so if you are DCAing out, like what are you going into? Are you going into Bitcoin? My answer is I'm not going to go into Bitcoin. I'm going to go mostly into cash. So, and that could be cash equivalent. So bonds, treasury yields, stable
coins. But
coins.
Are you not afraid of like the dollar, like the US debt is going exponential. They're probably going to print more money. Like in the end, it could go very fast as well. If you just look at Venezuela, how fast they got the inflation. It was like from one to the other year, they got like 1,000% inflation out of nowhere. Of course, the US is a way bigger market. It's not likely going to happen, but still.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Or let's say the US is going to announce their strategic Bitcoin reserve. They're going to buy a Bitcoin, and then you decide to sell all your Bitcoin, and it goes up 200%.
So I want to make a distinction here. I do have long-term Bitcoin like you, which I'm not touching, and that's long-term, right? So I'll always have exposure to Bitcoin, but I'm talking about my active portfolio, which is mainly alts right now. What will I do with that? And I'm happy to be in cash for 1 to 2 years in cash isn't going to kill you because if inflation, even if it's 5% a year, you'll lose 10%. Cool, but apart from gold and maybe silver, like most assets won't survive an economic collapse, and we don't need to get too far into this, but I think there will be an economic collapse. That's how the cycles work. At some point in 2026 or 2029, at some point we'll get it.
To be very honest, haven't we been saying this since 2019?
But
there will be
we have been.
I believe it's going to happen as well. It's inevitable. But we've been saying it, at least I have been thinking it's going to happen like for the last 5 years now.
Yeah.
I think, it's going to happen like maybe 25, 24. But now it's like even later.
But in terms of exiting crypto, like it's not a case of like you just go all into cash and then you wait. Obviously, I'll buy some real estate, gold. I'm just saying not Bitcoin. Why not Bitcoin when I exit? Because Bitcoin is still a risk asset. It's still not a store of value. I think long term it will prove to be a store of value, but it's still a risk asset. So if it goes to 150, it's still prone to going down to 190, 80. And I want capital protection against that. So my plan is go mostly into cash, real estate, etc., like sectors that aren't as volatile. Real estate will also crash, but much less in my opinion. And then my big plan is to go heavily into equities and Bitcoin, not altcoins, in the bear market. So equities are great investments in market crashes because they rebound first, potentially even before Bitcoin, and they're safer. They have less downside. So even if you don't time the bottom and you buy midway through the crash, they're still not going to pull down another 50% like Bitcoin can. So my plan is to go a mixture, and I did a full tweet on this the other day, treasury yields, real estate, Bitcoin, gold, and then also something that's interesting for us because we're in the industry is actually investing in startups, because what happens in like economic collapses is a lot of that like fluff in the VC market completely dissipates. People are scared of investing. Those that are savvy and actually prepped cash, and that's why I want to hold a lot of cash, and I'm not worried about inflation because I want buying power, and I can actually buy into a lot of these like AI startups, crypto startups that are going to be completely decimated because the AI bubble by then would pop, and you basically have these opportunities to get into like really attractive long-term valuations. So like it's interesting. It's not just the liquid market. You have to look at the illiquid market, starting businesses during that time. Interest rates will probably go down a lot because they're trying to stimulate the economy. It's going to be cheaper than ever to loan money. So if you have capital to put up front, you can get huge loans at really low interest rates. The bank might even lock you in on a really good rate for like 5 years that you can use to start a new business. So the reason you want cash isn't just to time the market. It's to have leverage to build businesses. So my plan after crypto is not just sit around. I probably want to keep building more businesses. It might be in crypto, it might not be, and I'm going to need cash to do it. So that's pretty much my summary on exiting.
And what do you think about the current...
But it's not time. I just want to say it's not time to think about exiting because...
Me too. I honestly, in this bear market, I thought, okay, I was sitting down with my friend. We were sitting in a sauna and we were talking about the bull market top. It was like $18,000 around the time. Because I think the best way to predict the bull market top is to do it in the bear market. Just write it down. I wrote it down on my phone. And I wrote down 120,000 to 160,000. That was my top target, what I was thinking, like calculating it.
We're going to get there, I think, easily.
I think so as well. But now I'm starting to feel extremely bullish again. Like, the US government.
It should be 200, 300.
Yeah, true. But that is the mistake most people make. Yeah. And honestly, if you look at the last cycle, we went from $20,000 to 69. That's like almost a 3.5x. Like if we really have the diminishing returns, we 69K, we topped out, maybe a 2x, 140K. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Honestly, I think 120 to 140, 60 is a very reasonable target.
Do you know what happens if Bitcoin hits 120 to altcoins? That's why I said it's all time to think about exiting it, because Bitcoin, so in the last week when we're recording this, it might go out next week, but it doesn't matter because the lesson's the same. In the last week, Bitcoin went from 100 and it was 99 and it dropped down to 92. But during that drop, we saw some altcoins 3, 4, 5xing. Yeah. So Bitcoin, that's what happens at tops. Bitcoin will go to 120, then it will form a top. It'll go down to 110. But that top that forms, you won't know until afterwards, in hindsight. True. It forms because people are rotating into alts. And that's where all this liquidity just goes nuts into the altcoin market. So like you have to be very patient with altcoins because they won't fully run into Bitcoin. There are a lot of opportunities in altcoins. And like there are great setups. I think layer 2s are going to be doing great. I think layer 2s especially, like they tend to do very well whenever like Ethereum is very busy, Solana's like out all time. Layer 2s tend to do very well. And like in terms of memes, like my personal pick, I've been saying it for such a long time, Pepe. Pepe is really the meme of the cycle. My first 100x in True. I also had a 100x. I found out about it at $8 million market cap and I faded it. But I bought it still at 100. Actually. But same. Exact same. Faded it at 10 mil, bought it at 100 mil.
Yeah. I didn't cash out a 100x because I cashed out along the way.
Same. Like I probably got a 30x or a 20x because
I got 26 now.
26 you calculated it. Mine's probably around, same.
I only bought $10,000. The funny part is I put it on my ledger. So I show this screenshot on Twitter also from time to time. I literally show I made it, like the 100x. But I really think if you just look at the last cycle, what I talked about, the following up Memecoin was Shiba, went to $50 billion in market cap. Pepe is sitting right now around 10, 11. Can easily do a 5x, right? And if the market even grows further, why couldn't it do it like a 6 or 7x from here on?
With Doge, I mean, Elon's pushing Department of Government Efficiency. Like Doge is at 60 bill. I can easily see that at 150 bill,
True.
$1.50. And if that happens, bro, a 2x in Doge, Pepe can 5-10x, WIF can 5-10x.
Have you heard anyone talk about Shiba lately?
No.
It's
maybe
dead.
that's why I'm fading it.
It's dead. I mean, maybe that's the reason why.
Maybe the reason I'm fading it, and people like me, I'm not fading it deliberately.
No.
I just haven't thought about it. It's all WIF, it's all Pepe, it's all Bonk, it's all.
But honestly, Pepe is like I think the best meme out there. Like if you just look
Pepe,
purely,
same,
purely at the meme, it has the potential to become the second largest meme. And if you just look at that and like you need to have conviction in certain investments, of course, meme coins. Like it's just. You just have to think about a way, okay, I think this is going to happen. This is why I buy it. It's not like technical or anything. But I really am convinced. I'm still holding my Pepe. I'm not going to touch it. I think it's going to really become
I think it'll do. And it's on Coinbase, Robinhood.
True.
I think for a lot of people, they should be focused. Like there's two things I'd focus on. Leading memes, because a lot of the rotationary memes you can get really burnt on if you're not experienced. So like the leading memes, there's a great website called memecoinrace.xyz or something like that. Just look up Memecoin supercycle race. Click on it on Google. You'll see all of the meme coins. All of those I really like because they're like in this 500 mil to $5 billion range, which I think is like like you want to be investing in the memes which are leaders of specific sectors. So like the top dog, the top frog, the top cat, the top base meme, that's how I think of meme coins. And then obviously you can play that spray and pray game, but I think people get too caught up in investing too much in the lower caps. No. And I think even something like a Floki, Mew, like just these coins with like big brands can do well.
True. And what do you think about the normie coins like Cardano, XRP? There seem to be popping off lately, but I really feel like I also saw your tweet about it. I really feel like this is the signal that retail is returning.
Got to be careful because you guys, you flame me every time I shit on Cardano or XRP.
Oh.
No, my last video had so many comments. Like I didn't even say they were horrible. I just said like, look, I'm not the biggest fan of the tech bubble because they had this loyal community, which
the community is great.
If you tell them, which is why they're probably going to do well dollar wise because of the community. But if you tell them that the tech's not the best, they'll like fight tooth and nail.
Like someone sent me a picture or like sent me a link for like check out this Cardano meme coin, and I looked at it, and then I started to look into Cardano meme coins. I checked the volume. Sorry to say, but the volume is shit
because no one uses the chain.
Uses it. No one.
The metrics back this up.
But it's so valuable, the chain. Well, it's not even...
They'll argue it's not about the chain, it's about the vision, and Charles is an academic, and it's long-term, and they're not worried about DeFi because they're partnering with universities and countries and governments. That's a good sell, but I just don't necessarily buy it. Yeah. So personally, I don't hold Cardano. XRP I prefer. XRP was actually my third ever crypto that I bought after Bitcoin and Ethereum, so it has a special place in my heart.
So I prefer. For how long are you holding XRP now?
XRP, I sold a lot of it, bro.
Okay.
For like Solana and other like shit. That's actually outperformed. This is also what people need to understand. Like you could have been, so a lot of people were trying to dunk on me last week. Like, haha, you missed XRP Cardano running. It's like, but if I had waited for 3 years, what's the opportunity cost on all the other coins that I've traded during that period? Like if I had that money tied up in XRP, even for a 3x, it wasn't worth holding XRP because it was better to be in memes, AI, Solana. And at least just have capital, Solana, to just trade with, right?
Exactly. But what do you think? Like I was looking yesterday again at the Solana market cap to like the inflation of Solana. It's insane. It's sitting at 150 billion right now. And the previous all-time high, which it just broke, was 75 billion.
Yeah.
So the inflation is literally in 3 to 4 years, 100%, which is insane.
Yeah.
Which is quite insane.
Because they had all the VC unlocks and like Alameda. The reason Solana's run so much is because a lot of it was dumped.
Yeah, true.
So that made the bottom a lot lower, which has now made the rally bigger. So the noise is louder, and it's like this flywheel which perpetuates because
I do agree, and it is actually like whenever you spend
it's mostly diluted now. So a lot of that was over the last year. Yeah.
But there's is it fully diluted? Or?
80%.
Okay,
I think
that's
yeah.
not bad.
But it
I
was
really
like
feel
50%.
like if I'm using Solana, it's so much nicer to use Phantom Wallet. It's just so easy. Like the everything they build on it
So
is just
easy.
nice.
Because it's fast.
That is why it's so big.
Because
as
it's
well.
centralized.
Yeah.
The reason why it's funny. We get into talking about centralization versus decentralization, but like because Solana's so centralized, it really allowed them to like make a very fast network, but there was a trade-off. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of downtime. Maybe it's not the most like decentralized, but people don't care. They just want a chain that works, and Solana really works, and it's quick and it's fast. You know what's interesting? You spoke about Phantom Wallet. Base is now on the Phantom Wallet. They got an official integration.
Oh, wow.
So I think Coinbase Base. I think that's be a good ecosystem.
Very good. I think there are some very great picks. I was very early on Brett, which is right now the biggest one out there.
Yeah.
I also got a 300x on
I
that.
faded Brett.
Yeah,
I should have got Brett in the early days.
But I feel very bad because I got $20,000 in it, and then it 5x'd. I sold everything. And then since then it went 300x, but I still made some money.
You still
from
kept
it.
some, right?
I still kept some, yeah. I made almost like 1.5 mil from it, so it's not bad.
Yeah.
But I could have made like maybe 20 or 30. So
Yeah.
it feels pretty shit, you know? But honestly, I think on Coinbase chain, like also Brett, like it's like the 7th largest meme coin right now. But to be very honest, like Coinbase has not even listed it. It's the largest meme on Base chain. They're probably gonna list it. And just think
They should list
they
it.
should.
It makes no
and
sense.
they will probably.
Yeah.
But yeah,
They just can't be seen to be playing favorites, so they
True.
need to list Whiff and Pepe,
Yeah.
and then eventually it should get listed.
But there are many other ones that are actually like 50, 60 M market cap, which are also having great communities, which I think have a lot of potential. So I'm curious, what are your top memes from every chain?
Top memes. So my number one meme right now is Lucky. It's on its own chain. It's on Lucky Coin.
Oh wow.
Network. So here's basically the TLDR with Lucky. This is my biggest meme holding right now. One of them next to Pepe, and it happened by accident. I didn't put millions of dollars in, but it's just happened to perform really well. But I still have a lot of conviction it can do a 10 to 50x plus from here. Basically,
What's the market cap right now?
it's 70 mil if you exclude a lot of the locked supply, because a lot of it is dormant from 2013. So just a quick history lesson. Doge actually forked Lucky Coin to create Doge. So it's technically the OG Doge. It was created in May 2013. Doge launched, I think, in August 2013. And the founders admitted this, and it's on the website. If you go to the Doge website, it says Lucky forked from Lucky Coin or created from Lucky Coin. And basically, the network was running in 2013. Then it stopped running. And then it just got revived this year. But it's not a restart. Like a lot of these newer chains are like just restarts of the old chain. This is like a pure revival that actually keeps the lineage of the original Genesis block. So they restarted the network, and it's got the OG Doge narrative, which is super powerful. Yeah. It's also a 4-leaf clover, like it's a lucky symbol, which I think really resonates with, I mean, humans are gamblers, right? So, and luck is such a part of crypto, and Chinese culture is really about luck and prosperity. Like St. Patrick's Day in Ireland's about luck. Like it's a big part of human culture. So,
and what is the ticker for everyone?
LKY. Yeah.
LKY. Okay, I'm gonna check it out as well.
It's the OG Doge. It's still sitting at 70 mil, which makes it a 1,000x away from Doge. So even if it gets 2% of Doge's market cap, it could still go to like $1 billion or 500 million, like depending on
and Doge will probably go to 100 billion.
Yeah. So I'm not saying it's gonna overtake Doge, but it's not even on any exchanges. So once it starts getting a few big exchange listings, and it already has.
So how do you buy it right
community.
now if it's not on any?
Well, that's the thing. It's on Mexi and Ascendex and non-KYC and all these really weird decks.
True, yeah, because it's probably horrible to buy it from.
It's
their
horrible.
Chain.
No, but also because they don't even have dexes, because it's a proof of work chain.
Oh wow.
It's Doge. So it's the oldest running meme chain in history. So
so they really need listings to. Really,
they need listings like Dogecoin. Dogecoin you can't buy it on a Dogecoin dex, right?
Yeah.
So they need listings, and Mexi liquidity is terrible. If you put $10,000 in right now, you'll wick the price. Yeah. So they need Bybit, Binance.
Yeah, true. But you have to just place limit orders. I think it's way better.
But this is why it's an opportunity, because the community is so strong, and it has such a strong narrative that, in my opinion, and the hash rate just went crazy.
I'm gonna buy some right now.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Why do you think? So it actually overtook Litecoin and Dogecoin for hash rate on the network.
Really?
Yeah. Why do you think the mining is so high right now when the price is not even that high?
The mining from this coin.
Yeah. Why do you think it's so high?
Because they can't mine anything else.
So the only way to get liquidity is to mine it, right?
Oh, okay.
And what do exchanges need to list the coin?
Liquidity.
They need liquidity.
Yeah.
So like two and two together, like I think there's big players mining this.
Yeah.
I haven't even been told explicitly who they are.
Honestly,
my theory is,
you're giving me so much FOMO. I'm buying right now.
well, it actually dropped. No, I'm very bullish on them.
Yeah.
I haven't sold any. Like I bought, full transparency, I bought between $2 and $3 on the open market. I wasn't paid. I wasn't.
It's sitting
OTC.
at 9.9 right now, and I'm gonna buy
9.9.
Yeah.
I think it'll.
How much
I
did
think
you
it'll
put
do
in?
well. I put in. I don't know the exact amount. Like 6 figures, like low 6 figures.
Okay.
And
That's quite a lot.
quite a lot. Yeah. But over like weeks
true,
and
true, yeah. You can't buy it in once because most of these coins
exactly.
they just need good liquidity.
Exactly. I actually sold some Pepe and then rotated.
Oh, that's great.
Into
I think that's
a
smart to
few
do.
others.
Just
So
rotate from your profits into some smaller.
So you
coins.
asked me about my top meme. So that's one of them, and that just comes to mind because I'm really passionate about it right now. But obviously Pepe is still probably my biggest. It might be close, but it still probably is my biggest meme holding. Whiff, I like. I actually think Floki's going to do quite well. I don't even have a huge bag. I just think it might do quite well. I'm just thinking like Foxy on Linear, I have a big bag of. Like there's things like Hippo, which I think could still do well. They need to be like cemented as a leader in their own like niche. So Lucky's unique because it has its own niche. It's the OG Doge. History doesn't lie. Like Doge did fork from Lucky. So that's always going to be there. But you need to find the top meme on Solana, the top dog, the top frog. So I just really try and own like each leader because I know eventually they're all just going to do well. And then there's a lot of riskier stuff which I'm rotating into. But like, by the time this goes out, I might not even be in it because I'm just trading.
True. I'm also rotating quite a lot. So it's difficult to say on a podcast. I think this will come live in like 5 days.
Yeah.
Like that, 6 days.
It's difficult because some of this stuff like...
So maybe Lucky is now sitting at $50 or maybe at $2. We don't know.
I think it'll be higher. That's my guess. Unless there's a market crash because... Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's having a nice dip at the moment.
Yeah.
It went to $17 and then went back to 10.
So now is a good opportunity. I'm going to buy some.
Yeah, I know memes in general. I think what's going to happen...
Now the rotation seems to happening to like utility coins, like these normie coins as well. If you just look... What do you think about Athena?
Athena, I like it.
Yeah?
Because it's... I don't know if you've explained it much on your channel. I know you've spoken about it, but like it's very reflexive. So there's two protocols which are reflexive to bullish conditions and bearish conditions. Yeah. Athena and Rune. They're the two that really do well in a bull market because Athena makes more money when funding rates are higher. And funding right now is not even that high.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm so bullish. I bought so much from it. Like not so much, but like I bought like 300K worth of it at like 20 to 25 cents.
And what's it now, like 70?
72.
Nice.
So it's a pretty good buy, but I'm still thinking like this can easily still 10x. Easily.
What's the market cap?
3 billion, I think.
3 bill?
3 bill.
Well, it's like Luna.
Yeah, it's literally
it's got
Luna.
that flywheel, and so does Rune. Like they've got that flywheel.
Yeah. True, I think like Luna as well.
2
like
mil market cap though. A lot of the dilution.
Yeah.
2 bill, sorry, and then the dilution's over like
true. The
years
inflation is
and
quite
years
high.
and years. It's high.
Yeah.
But you're only trading it for 1 year maybe.
Exactly.
So
but just look at Luna. Like last cycle, out of nowhere, it was there in the top 10.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, literally in 2 weeks.
Because it had such a powerful mechanism.
And this is the same.
Because you needed to like bid basically as UST grew, Luna like got burnt, and it just created this narrative of like every time UST's minted, you burn Luna.
Yeah.
Now what they didn't realize is every time UST it gets redeemed, you mint Luna. So it had the opposite. So then obviously it collapsed. But Athena's kind of similar. It's a very different fundamentally, but it's got a similar flywheel approach in terms of capturing.
True. I really compare it like the new Luna that's working. Like, but people like Ponzi's,
Yeah.
People just love it.
Ponzi's do the best.
Yeah. They always like every cycle you have this Ponzi that just explodes. People make a lot of money and then it crashes down and everyone hates it.
I think it's unfair to call Athena a Ponzi yet because because it's a bit different. It adjusts based on funding rates. So
true.
It would probably struggle if crypto trading stopped forever.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But
like everything would. But it would really struggle because if trading volume drops a lot.
Yeah, but the price also, like, there are so many great setups right now. Like Arbitrum, for example, it was sitting at 50 cents lately. I made a tweet about it as well. It was sitting below the price, like the seed price.
Wow.
Or the private round price.
Private round,
which is quite a great buy, in my opinion, because Arbitrum, I think, does well. Optimism as well was sitting below the private round. Then Athena was also sitting below.
Mode is one that I'm in. It's an L2. It's at 60 now, but I got in at 30. And
because you have to think, like, you're buying at a level where the VCs are not even buying it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Like, what do you think about Layer Zero, Wormhole, and these
Wormhole
VC coins? Wormhole, you like?
Yeah.
Because they're also lower or at similar levels to VC.
There are
entries.
so many great setups. Like for example, look at TIA against Bitcoin.
Yeah,
SOLUSDT.
TIA's killing it.
It's doing very well. But I like to compare these coins to Bitcoin because if you just look at them against Bitcoin, there are so many great setups right now. They're all bleeded to death, and like they're really starting to form that bottom right now. And they're probably
so much better to use the Bitcoin pair because your job as an investor in crypto is to beat Bitcoin.
Exactly.
If you can't beat Bitcoin, just hold Bitcoin.
True.
Well, why are you in altcoins? So you have to be charting them against Bitcoin.
Yeah, because I know some Forex traders, I showed them the charts. They think like, oh, this is not going to rotate, but it's so different compared to Forex. You just look at like a bottom formation. Like a lot of those are creating rounding bottoms and like they are below their launch price against Bitcoin. So I feel like it's worth it.
Yeah. It's a completely different industry to like Forex. It's much, because as I said, the market's becoming more efficient as well. So if the market works out like, XRP and ADA's running, like it preemptively bids like Polkadot and Algo and HBAR. And same as memes. Like if Doge runs, a lot of the lower cap memes are just going to pump. And AI, if Tau runs to $1,000, a lot of the lower cap AI coins are going to explode very quickly.
And what do you think about Fetch AI?
I liked Fed a lot. This ASI thing kind of confused things a little, I think, and there was a bit of FUD. Yeah. Is that an opportunity? I'll ask you because you might know more about FET than me.
Honestly, like the fusion they did, I think it's quite a great thing because they have right now a bigger team. Of course, there was some FUD, but still, like I think it will do well. I think it do well. And honestly, if you look at the chart as well,
it has the ASI ticker now, right? You can still buy FET, but isn't it also ASI? Artificial super intelligence.
No, because if you look on CoinGecko, it still says
it still
FET.
trades as FET. Okay,
but I think it will do very well
because FET has now combined like
with Ocean
so they've
protocol.
kept the FET ticker. They're combined with Ocean. What was the other one? Recently, PAL, I think, and they got a bit of FUD for that.
PAL, the team sold or something.
Yeah, the team, and then maybe I think it was on a governance forum. But look, I think actually FET could be okay because. And I don't hold much, but I definitely see the logic because it's a.
But I got it's a proxy 12x right? from it.
Wow!
Because I bought it at like what was it, 16 cents?
Wow, that's
and literally
insane.
like a week before the run started. So
that's
I got
insane.
It was a very nice buy.
That's
because
crazy.
I was really thinking, okay, what is gonna do well this cycle? And I thought, okay, we need to have narratives where people can really attach to, and it's probably gonna be AI and gaming. What do you think about gaming?
Gaming is one of these. So AI is a very good narrative because. Every time there's like an announcement or a news or like a catalyst, AI can catch a bid. So it has multiple runs per cycle, right? I feel like gaming doesn't have that. So I think it's either going to not run at all or have one really big run. And I'm leaning towards the latter because I think at some point it just has to run. Mm-hmm. But it is a frustrating one to hold because you don't see much happening.
Beam is right now up like almost 2x.
Yeah, Beam, nice. Super are my two biggest holdings.
Yeah, Beam is my biggest gaming holding.
But the lower cap gaming coins have been really frustrating. Like I hold a lot of them, and they're all just like
the entire
really
cycle
bad.
Already.
Yeah,
the entire cycle. But you haven't not told me yet. What is your Bitcoin bull market target? Like we're gonna look back at this in 5 years. What is the Bitcoin bull market top?
My target this whole cycle was 120. Like when it was 50K, I said 120. When it was 80, I said 120. Kind of like you. Now it's at 100. I'm thinking, ooh, did I go under? Should I push up to 150?
I should give a range. Like I say 120 to 160.
I'm going to say 120 to 150, yeah.
Okay. They're in a very...
I think we consolidated for so long. We consolidated for 265 days. Do you consolidate for 265 days below 73K just to go to 95 or 99? Like it feels like you go much higher.
It's like 25, 20...
Yeah.
29% something.
If you look at the patterns, I also posted this on Twitter. I'm sure you have as well. Like there's two major compression ranges, and every time you break out, you at least double.
Exactly. You have to like in many of these bull markets. Also, if you look at the last bull market, actually, like in November 2020, just exactly 4 years ago, we also started the bull market, and we exactly had in November an entire month of consolidation. Mm-hmm. So we had the rally from 12K to 20. Then from $20,000 to $18,000, we were consolidating for an entire month. And then with the Christmas effect, we had a major rally higher to 30K or 38K. And then we went down again, and then we went even higher. But I think the most important part to call the Bitcoin top is to look at the chart at the weekly time frame. Mm-hmm. Because honestly, also last cycle, the chart, it told it all. We were creating losing momentum on the weekly time frame, on the monthly, the 3-day. Like we were clearly losing momentum. Interest was decreasing. It was likely going to top out. honestly, it was quite predictable. But I was like quite bearish at that time, but I was not really. I knew it was going to come, but I thought we were still gonna go higher. I mean,
Yeah.
But
And also as a creator, like
Yeah.
it's also, and I think this cycle I'll do it more than the last cycle. But even when you start to feel bearish,
True.
you're not incentivized to be bearish because the market is the most bullish at the top.
Yeah.
So even if you think, oh, we're showing signs of topping,
You know-
you don't want to say it because you'll get flamed. You'll
True.
get really everyone's quiet because no one wants to say it.
True.
So it's like an interesting dynamic. But I
It's-
think this time I'm
yeah.
just gonna like.
I will do
Be
the same
more
because
vocal.
I was like a little bit bearish on $99,000. We were creating this bearish divergence. I posted about it. I never I read my comments. People were saying, "How could you say that? You were bullish." I said, "Just look at the
And you were
whole
right.
video."
It went to 92.
Yeah, exactly. It was a very nice call, but on the
Yeah.
daily we create a massive bearish divergence, and I think like those things like momentum is always important to understand, and momentum will always drive the market.
You would, and tops are always retroactive, so you'll know when the top is.
Yeah.
Maybe when price is 15% lower than the top, but it's not about timing the top.
Exactly.
It's about knowing, okay, that probably is a top.
Yeah.
And getting out before it gets too much worse.
True, and usually when you can see like a topping formation, it still takes like a couple days
Yeah.
before it actually like comes down. Like I can say, okay, this looks like a topping formation, but just like 2021, we had like multiple weeks.
Like fake outs.
Exactly,
Yeah.
multiple weeks where we were like touching all-time highs, but eventually we had like a 50% crash. So you are right, but people are gonna hate you for it.
Yeah.
Because in the coming 5 weeks, we're still not coming down, but you know,
That's why I also think
Yeah.
laddering out, and this goes back to the
Yeah.
point earlier in the podcast, like laddering out over time is better as well, because then you're not so, like when the top starts to form, obviously then you can start pulling out a bit of capital, but you shouldn't be pulling out your whole portfolio. You should have already taken a lot of profits, because by the time the top's in, hopefully you were in early enough that you've already made
yeah.
enough to like be able to like protect yourself a bit against that
but
downside.
What is probably reality? Like you see it as well. The views are going up right now.
Views will be
like,
the highest at the top.
True. That's also
These
good
shows will be
metrics.
getting 100,000 views,
True,
at
true.
the top.
But honestly, like it is quite funny to see because as YouTubers, creators, you can just see your account grows like way faster in the bull market, and it's actually a very good top metrics. If you see your channel metrics is hitting new all-time highs,
I'm kind of scared, bro. You know why I'm scared? Because I have this core audience who all have, I think, pretty good entries, or at least that if you've been watching me every day, we've had a lot of good calls. I'm sure you have as well. Problem is, and this is like a question, like I've been thinking about this. At the peak, a lot of new people are going to come in, and they're all going to want calls. They're going to be like, "Oh, what's the next altcoin? What's this?" But at that point, like, what am I going to say on the video every day? Actually, no, you should have watched me 6 months ago. Like, that's not really alpha, is it? So it's going to be very difficult for us as creators.
True.
I'm not worried about it yet because still think we're a few months off at least.
True, yeah.
But it's going to be hard for us because otherwise, either we flip bearish completely and then no one watches that video.
True, that's the problem because we
or
as
we
creators,
give bad calls.
Yeah, we want to grow, right? We want to get more followers. It's like for me, it's a game. I like to get more subscribers. It's just I want to get that million
that dopamine.
Yeah, I want to get the golden play button. You know, you probably will want to have the same. But if you be bearish, no one will like you.
Yeah, exactly. But I think longer term, protecting your credibility and integrity relies on you not always being bullish. So
yeah, true. I agree.
I think at some point I will need to when I'm just gonna have to be authentic. When I genuinely think we're topping, I'm gonna say it. But also that there can be good trading opportunities. Like maybe I'll focus more on trading because I'll just say, look, from a spot position, I wouldn't be opening anything here, but maybe you can still
because
offer trades.
If let's say Bitcoin sits at $150,000, you're gonna open up a short position with 2x leverage, maybe 3x. Honestly, the downside risk is the risk of like losing money is not so big in my opinion. But always like I've been like developing, not myself, but I've been helping to develop some algorithms. And what I really learned is that the short position is much more dangerous than the long position.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense, right? Short can only go down 100%, and the long position can go up as much as you want.
Yeah.
Because you can go higher than 100%. So
people want to be bullish.
True. And
people want to buy and also money printing. So the reason
Yeah.
why the market goes up more than it goes down is because the currency is inflating.
So shorting is always like more difficult and is always more risky. But if you like see the good opportunity,
I've seen a lot. I know a lot of people that have made a lot of money off shorting. They're like Thicky, like he's a big trader on Twitter. I don't know if he's been like super long recently, but I know he made a killing earlier in the year just shorting that downtrend.
But I feel like people like even now, since the market is going up again, are even more reliant to the 4-year cycle. So people are right now really believing in the fact that the bull market is starting. You need to hold because we're still early.
Yeah.
I need to buy altcoins because altcoin season is still happening. But whenever the trend shifts again to a bear market, which is in like maybe 100 days, people are this time around, I think, actually going to sell because they believe in the narrative of the 4-year cycle because it has happened like 3 times already right now. So the bear market must definitely come right now, right? So are the masses going to be right this time? Or are the masses going to be wrong?
The masses are always wrong.
Yeah.
But this is where my theory comes in. You said 100 days, right? I agree. 100 days could definitely be a local top, but I think people are going to start selling a lot, thinking that's the top.
Yeah.
I think this cycle will be a bit different where actually not really. 2021, the same shit happened. Remember May, you had the peak. Then we all thought in June it was over.
Exactly.
And then November was the real peak. I think the same thing's going to happen. I think Q1, you're going to see this peak. Everyone's going to be like, it's over. That was the peak.
Crash. Yeah.
Then we're going to see a summer lull. And I think maybe that real rally doesn't happen until after everyone's out. And then you get the really big crash. But it never happens like people want it.
True.
It never gives you what you want.
The market is difficult.
It never gives you what you want.
It's difficult.
Well, that's why timing the market's a fool's game. Like, you need to have the general idea right, but the exact execution could be wrong. I'm never going to time the exact week the market bottoms or tops. I just buy stuff that I think offers a good risk reward on dips, and then on big pumps, I take profits and I rotate back into safer assets. And if you do that throughout the uptrend, even when you're eventually wrong, you're still you would have made so much money on the way up. Like, you can afford to be wrong at the top.
True, I agree. I think that there will be so much opportunities also to short the market, and I think people will just see it because they have to watch your channel. Yeah. So I guess we will wrap up the podcast. I think we've been doing it for about an hour right now. So that's
it goes so fast.
Exactly.
These podcasts always go quick.
And I don't want to do it too long because otherwise people.
We can have a part 2.
Maybe we can have a part 2. Depends on what the people like. So let us know. Do you like these podcasts? Then we can do potentially another one in the future, and give us some subjects we need to talk about. We can definitely discuss it. So thank you so much for watching towards this amazing podcast, and subscribe to your channel. Yep. Give your channel.
Link in the description probably. Miles Deutscher. It's pretty hard to spell, so link in the description.
True. And I will leave your Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, YouTube, in the link below. Subscribe to his channel, and see you guys on the next one.
See you later. Peace out.
Peace out.